Welcome to Commander Quickies, the series where we take a specific aspect of Commander and crunch it into a 5-minute, easy-to-watch video. I'm BZ of the Nitpicking Nerds, and today I'll be going over the ins and outs of +1/+1 counters decks. Before we talk about how to pilot these types of decks, we need to first define what +1/+1 counters means. +1/+1 counters is a style of play that focuses on getting +1/+1 counters on one or more creatures with respect to a goal, usually involving winning the game. What makes a +1/+1 counters commander good? The strongest commanders tend to use counters to their benefit, or add counters to other creatures that you can then use to your benefit. It should either be the creature you try to enable, or be a force that enables your other creatures. Let's look at a few of the best examples of +1/+1 counters commanders, and figure out what makes them so darn good. Marchesa the Black Rose. Marchesa is a popular counters choice because she falls outside of green, the main color among these types of decks. The goal of these decks is to spread counters over all their creatures and use sacrifice effects or even board wipes to get extra enters the battlefield abilities when they come back a second time. Marchesa decks are unique in that a lot of the creatures just provide value, and Marchesa, along with several key enablers, are the main ways to spread counters among other creatures. Since the creatures return at the end step and can include the queen herself, you often assemble a fighting force of 4 to 5 threats that just won't die. Marchesa's power lies in her ability to spread out counters and create a resilient army. Skullbriar the Walking Grave. Skullbriar is a fast, beatdown machine, and his decks can be built a few different ways, but the constant theme remains of getting Skullbriar up to the lethal 21 points of commander damage necessary to one-shot kill a player. Cards like Lotus Petal and Chrome Mox allow for cheeky turn 1 attacks that quickly get the ball rolling for these Voltron-style counters decks. Things like Rishkar's expertise and Life's Legacy help fuel the deck's late game, and Skullbriar's retention of counters in the graveyard leads to advantageous situations for you to save mana by using something like Journey to Eternity or Reanimate to get them back into play. Skullbriar decks get their strength from their resiliency and their ability to hit very hard. Pier Imaginative Rascal and Toothy Imaginary Friend. One of the go-to commander options for blue and green, Pier and Toothy decks can do a few different things. Some of them look to power up Toothy with Pier's ability and go for an insane turn of drawing dozens of cards, and others focus more on using Pier to spread a lot of counters onto multiple creatures for a lethal attack, and most have a few aspects of both strategies sprinkled in there. This duo's strength comes from their ability to draw lots of cards and present threats constantly. So what cards typically go with these counters commanders? As it happens, I've got a couple examples of the perfect cards to put in some of these decks. Gyre Sage and Incubation Druid. If you're looking to spread out counters and ramp, these are some of your better 2-drops. They each take little to no effort to put counters on and soon tap for way more mana than it costs to play them. They pair well with blue's card draw or green's huge threats. Unspeakable Symbol. This is one of my personal favorite cards for counters decks, and it's one of the all-stars of my Skullbriar deck, and even goes right into Marchesa the Black Rose decks as well, among others. This Swiss Army Knife enchantment works with a multitude of cards to provide you various advantages, from resetting persist creatures like Woodfall Primus, to going infinite with Hard Scales and Spike Feeder, to drawing cards with Generous Patron. I highly recommend this $1 all-star. Crystalline Crawler. This card has counter synergy printed all over it, and lots of decks look to abuse this ability by using spells to put more counters on it than mana spent, turning the Crawler into a mana machine that can let you cast your entire hand and combo off in certain board states. Just don't go all in on putting counters on this robot until you know it's safe. Hardened Scales, Corpsejack Menace, and Winding Constrictor. Many game-winning turns begin with these cards in play. If you have a repeatable way to put one counter on creatures, these function as an exact copy of Doubling Season, and we at the Nitpicking Nerds actually prefer these over Doubling Season in dedicated counters decks, and don't even include the 5-mana enchantment. However, the decision is totally up to you for your own decks. Walking Ballista and Hangerback Walker. Two more classic counters cards here. Walking Ballista is a common finisher since once you hit infinite mana, it becomes an easy game winner and can also sit and play early, accrue a few counters, and take out key threats before opponents can destroy it. Hangerback Walker is a bread and butter mid-game play that is better in decks looking for creatures to sacrifice, but can also be used to make tons of Thopters and pump them to swing in for a surprise lethal attack. Finally, let's discuss some +1/+1 counters play patterns. If you're looking to pile a mountain of dice onto a single creature and crush opponents in 1 or 2 hits, you'll need ways to protect your chosen one. Blue provides counterspells, and I'd recommend cheap ones like Swan Song and Stubborn Denial. It's not worth getting fancy with Fuel for the Cause just because it synergizes, because it costs 4 times the mana and is a poor tempo play. Similarly, with green, you want cheap answers to Pillow Fort roadblocks, which means Nature's Claim and Force of Vigor over Croson Grip and Acidic Slime. If your strategy is to spread out your dice collection among all your creatures equally, you'll want to, once again, keep it cheap. Cathar's Crusade is a fine option if you have nice follow-ups, but you want to play your enabler and then go off on the same turn typically, as it's super risky to leave something like that in play if you can't protect it. Counters decks are living proof that math can indeed be fun. Sometimes. That concludes our guide to +1/+1 counters decks. We defined counters as an archetype and looked at efficient examples of powerful commanders and cards in the 99, and went over useful play patterns as well. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and catch the next Commander Quickie. Special shoutouts to our 14 patrons who make these videos possible. Peace out, Tribe Scout.